EA Sports cooked with Teambuilder in College Football 26 this year. I cannot lie. But if you're new to the game or maybe not super tech savvy, it can seem a little overwhelming trying to navigate, import, and do all that stuff to get your team ready. After all, we just want to coach some ball, right, guys? Have no fear. Spiced Up Gaming is here to walk you through the process and get your team created and looking good. We're going to assume that you don't have a whole lot of technology knowledge in this video, so if the pace of it is a bit slow for you, feel free to navigate throughout using the chapters that I set up. I will be walking you through the creation process, but also giving you some free game on ways to create logos and more. But first, let's get things going. For starters, you want to make sure you have an EA account and the ability to get online on your PS5 or Xbox. I'm assuming you do, but hey, you never know. I don't even think EA will let you get very far without an account anyways, so most of you should have one already, but if not, go ahead and make one because you will need it to do that in this video. From there, you will have to use an internet browser to create your team. Unfortunately, Teambuilder is not supported on mobile devices, so you will need a computer or laptop in order to make college football's next great program. Head over to the EA Teambuilder website. You can just search it in Google, or it is linked in the description to this video as well. From there, go ahead and click on Create, and that will take you into the design window. There's several different tabs we'll be navigating to throughout. But to start, let's go ahead and get your team name as you see here on the left side of the screen. Afterwards, let's go ahead and look at the logo because, of course, that's the most important part. Look good, play good, right? The first logo is going to be your main logo that's displayed on the scoreboard, game graphics, and so forth. The second logo is sort of like your alternate, and I recommend you use just text for the tertiary logo. I don't know if I said that right. The third logo, the alternate logo, and you'll see why coming up. First, I want to show you why you want to use a transparent image for your logos. Now, you may not be able to tell right off the jump the difference, but this first upload is my logo, but with a white background. You see when I put a transparent logo in, the difference between the two. And if you can't tell the difference, you definitely can when you go to look at the field and the uniforms. See how the white background shows up? Maybe some of you want that, but if you don't want that and you can't figure out how to get rid of it, it might be kind of annoying. I remember this setting me off back on NCAA Football 10 when I was just learning the interwebs. Lucky for you, it's not 2009 anymore, and there's plenty of free websites that can help you out there. I've linked a couple in the description to this video. Check them out. Pick which one you prefer. I ended up going with photoroom.com as my background remover. Now, all that is fine and dandy, but some of you may be saying, Coach, I don't even have a logo to begin with. And again, that's where we have a full arsenal of options at our disposal. If you want to go the AI route, ChatGPT is a great resource and actually what I use to get our second logo. I'm not the best with the prompts, but I just included something about an animated logo, and ChatGPT got it ready for me. Unfortunately, you're limited in the amount of images you can create with the free version. Grok is another alternative you can use, but the options they gave me sucked. I can't imagine these goofy creations being on a helmet or a field. So we have our logo that we like, but how can we change the colors and remove that background? Usually, I would just take it over to Photoshop if it was me, but again, we're going to assume you don't have access to those resources and want to go the free route, which I don't blame you, by the way. Adobe has been sucking my pockets dry for a decade now. For this portion, I used Canvas tools to try and cook something up. This is another free resource you can use, and the link is in the description of the video. I don't really know exactly what I'm doing here, but I played around, was able to find some tools to change the colors of the image. You may be able to work around this by just being more descriptive in your AI prompt, but I wanted to include this part to show how I got my results, and maybe it could help you out too. After getting a design we like, we're going to go back to Photo Room where we can remove the background for free. Unfortunately, Canva's background removal tool is a paid thing, but it's no problem. I will say I did touch this logo up a little bit in Photoshop to match the colors up with the original logo. Otherwise, that was going to drive me insane. So if you notice the colors change a little bit later in the video, that is why. If you don't want a robot creating your images and want to go a different route, you can always go to Google Images and search for logo vectors and follow a similar process. However, not going to be as much creativity. Here's what I found when I searched for a nerd carrying a football image like I did on ChatGPT, for example. Yeah, you see what we're working with here. Back to our main team builder screen, and we're going to drop in our secondary logo now, Mr. Nerd himself. For the third logo, I'll go ahead and put it in here too, and you see I've got an image as well as text here, and we will see why it's probably best to go with one or the other once we get to the uniform editing portion. You see we've got all our logos in place, but we need to change the colors for our team. You can see on the right there, these don't match up with our logos. The Teambuilder engine can actually pull the best matches from your logo uploads. You can either click select from primary logo underneath the colors on the right, or also hit the logo drop-down menu on the left side of the screen. The jersey brand that you pick does make a difference aside from just personal preference. Different brands have different styles of jerseys and numbering or fonts, so play around with these and pick which ones you like. Me personally, I would never have my team wearing some Under Armour, so I'm picking Nike or Adidas. We're going to scroll up towards the top now and hit uniforms to edit our jerseys. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I feel like it's important for you to play around with things in here, decide what you like best for your program. I will give some pointers and words of advice for a couple things in this section, though. For one, you can click and move the helmet around. You can also zoom in and out by scrolling on the little wheel on your mouse. I know that's not very descriptive, so hopefully you get what I'm trying to say, but you might need to move your helmet around so you can click it and drag it around to get a 3D view of that. You're going to have the option to edit the style reflectiveness of nearly everything on your jersey. Choose wisely with this because some things look good in Teambuilder but not the best in action. Chrome being one of those, especially on jerseys and logos. I made the logo on the front of my jersey chrome and kind of regretted it because it didn't look the best out in game action or outside of Teambuilder for that matter. The first parts of editing on uniforms is the colors of your helmet, jersey, pants, and socks. As you scroll down, you will see the option to add custom layers, which you can do a lot with. Remember the third logo, the alternate logo we talked about earlier. Here's why I said it's probably best for it to just be a logo or text and not both. It crops it out pretty considerably because of the size. I had to scale it down to a point where it's not even really worth keeping just to get it all on there. In previous Teambuilder edits, I just used text here and thought that really looked cool, especially on the nameplates. When you scale the image, it's going to stay uniform, but if you want to scale horizontally or just vertically more than the other, click that chain link icon to disconnect the two and be able to edit one and not the other. Be sure you play around with the placement tab and the custom layers when editing the jerseys. You can make them bigger or smaller and move them throughout the jersey too. When you import it on the jersey, it will automatically place it on the front, but you can adjust to preset positions on the jersey or move it yourself too in the placement section. You can also build up to 3 alternate jerseys by clicking the plus button next to home and away at the top of the editing screen. If I'm not mistaken, that's one more slot than you had last year, so yay to creativity. Okay, so now we're going to move on from uniforms and look at the stadium and field section. This year, EA has finally added some generic stadiums that you can choose from. Hallelujah. These stadiums feature no branding of other schools anywhere at all. And while there could be some bigger options, the ones provided are definitely an improvement. I suggest doing the 60K size stadium if you expect to build a winner. It sucks winning natties and having to play in a middle school stadium. In terms of editing the field again, this is kind of something where you can just play around with it and get what you like. I don't suggest making the field a certain color, at least not the colors for Spiced Up Gaming U here, because they would absolutely look foolish in this game. Now, I haven't found a way to input text in the end zone. You would think it would be an option, but unfortunately it isn't. So to get text in the end zone, you will have to upload a custom layer and size it up into the end zone how you want it. That's about all there is to know about the stadium and field. Again, I suggest you just play around here. You can get really creative with those custom layers. And next up, we've got the Program tab. And here's where we see some big changes from last year and overall in the series. You can set your playbooks in the Strategy tab, then the Program type in the My School section. There's a ton of different options to choose from that setup to get your ratings for things like Program Tradition and Campus Lifestyle. The only thing that sucks is you can't make your own custom ratings here. You can't input anything. You just have to go off of the school presets. Now, after this is the coolest addition, the ability to add up to 5 rivals for your school. You can even give the rivalries names, which is awesome, and also give it a little history, including series wins and the score of the last game. This is super cool, something that I didn't really ever think of, but I love that this was added to this game. You can also set up your own recruiting pipelines, too. For the best results, you want your locations to be Tier 5, as Tier 1 is the lowest on the scale. I suppose you could pick everyone on the list and assign it a tier, but I just picked some that made sense to me geographically. Not that that matters in college football anymore. Lastly, let's go to the roster section where this year your roster is fully customizable like it used to be in the past. Last year you couldn't change names or anything, I don't think, and this year you can go as far as setting up deal breakers, mental and physical abilities, and even ratings. Again, nothing really to explain here other than all the abilities, and hell, I don't even know what half of them mean, but if you hover over them, it should give you a brief summary of what they do and what they mean. I should also add that I'd suggest you save throughout this process. I got pretty deep into building a team last year and didn't save and lost everything. It could be a bit of a time-consuming process if you pay close attention to the details, so definitely want to save throughout. And once you're done, just hit the submit button. It'll take you to this screen where you can review and look everything over before you finalize it. Then after you submit your team, it's going to run some checks. Make sure you do it and didn't do anything too out of pocket with your creation. And from there, we'll head over to College Football 26 itself, where we are going to search for our team. Click over to the Create and Share tab, go down to the Download Center. From there, type in your EA username or the name of your school to try and search for it. You just hit download, and it will get your team into the game where you can find them and play now, as well as Dynasty Mode and Road to Glory 2. To import into your Dynasty, you will have to start a Cloud Online Dynasty, unfortunately. This can be kind of annoying, too, if you're trying to play without internet, as you won't be able to. Another part that sucks is you have to replace a pre-existing team, which means you're basically just kicking a team out of college football. You can have up to 16 Teambuilder teams in the game, so let your imagination flow. You can start your own conference. You can also use your Teambuilder schools as your high school and Road to Glory. I was wondering how it would transfer over, but it looked pretty good, in my opinion. And there you have it. You see our creation here on display. It turned out pretty well. Our home stadium is nice, although it's a little small. And those jerseys turned out great. Hopefully this video was helpful for you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a comment, and I'll help out however I can. If you could help me out by throwing a subscribe my way, I'd appreciate it greatly. We have plenty of other college football content on the page and even live stream gameplay as well, so make sure you turn those notifications on also. Thanks for watching. See ya!